everyone. How are you all? I hope you all are good. My name is Aditi Garg. In today's session, we will talk about structure of atom. So before discussing about structure of atom, there is a need to know what is an atom. So there is a scientist named Dalton. According to him, everything in this universe is made up of very small particles, and that small particles is known as an atom. Or basically, we can say that they are building blocks of any matter. Now, what does this particular line infer and what is matter? Matter is anything that is having some mass and occupy space, or you can say that everything all around you is matter. Consider this whiteboard. This whiteboard is having some mass and it is occupying some space. That's why this cardboard is also matter. This marker is also matter. This duster is also matter. Now, what is this building block info? Consider an example of a building. How is building is made? From the bricks, walls of the room are made, then complete room is made, then the collection of rooms are made, and that forms a huge building. So the building blocks are brick to form that building. Similarly, for any matter to form, atoms are the building blocks. Also, according to Dalton, we cannot divide atom at all. They are indivisible. They are indivisible. But later on, scientists discover subatomic particles like electrons, protons, and neutrons, due to which this model would get failed because according to this, we cannot divide atom at all. Many scientists did their experiment to explain the structure of atom. Let us talk about them one by one, and we will start with Thomson model of atom. Thomson model of atom. So he gave two postulates under his model. The first one is that an atom is a sphere of positive charge and electrons are embedded in it. An atom is a sphere of positive charge and electrons are embedded in it. This represents electrons that are negative charge particles, and this part represents protons. Protons are positive charge particles. This also resembles to a watermelon, where the black seeds of the watermelon represent electrons and the red part which we eat represent protons. The second postulate was that the total negative charge is equal to total positive charge in magnitude. Means the number of electrons and protons are equal. Means atom is electrically neutral. Atom is electrically neutral. But later on, scientists discovered new subatomic particles like nucleons and neutrons, which led to the failure of Thomson's model. Now let's talk about Rutherford model of atom. Rutherford model of atom. So basically, Rutherford did an experiment to explain structure of atom, and his experiment is also known as alpha scattering experiment. Now, what he did under his experiment, he made alpha particles to fall on a gold foil and made them to bombard on zinc sulfide screen. What he did, he made alpha particle to fall on gold foil and made them to bombard on zinc sulfide screen. What is this alpha particle? Alpha particle are helium nucleus that is having +2 charge and 4 unit atomic mass. And what is the source for this alpha particle? Any radioactive element is the source for this alpha particle. And here we took radium. As it is radioactive, that's why we keep it in lead. Okay. Now, what were the observations from this experiment? Let's talk about them. So, most of the alpha particles go undeflected. They didn't deflect from anything. Some deflect from small angle. Some deflect from small angle. And very few, 1 out of 12,000 deflect from 180 degree. Means they just go and come back. So what were the conclusions from this observation? As most of the alpha particles go undeflected, means there is no any kind of hindrance in their path. That's why they go inside atom is empty. Some deflect from small angle means there is a obviously some obstruction in their path, and that is very small. That is small. That is small positive charge. Very few deflect from 180-degree means obviously there is some hindrance that is also very small, and but the mass and charge of atom also reside in that small portion, and they named it as nucleus. And they named it as nucleus. So based upon these three conclusions, Rutherford put his model and he said that inside the atom at the center there is some positive portion, and they named it as nucleus. They named it as nucleus, and electrons are revolving around nucleus. Electrons are revolving around nucleus. Also, the size of nucleus is very small as compared to that of atom. But if you know that electrons are revolving around the nucleus, if they undergo acceleration, any charged particle, if it is moving, would undergo acceleration. If it undergo acceleration, then it would definitely radiate some energy. Then it would definitely radiate some energy. If electrons radiate energy, then they should automatically fall into the nucleus. If this were so, then atom should be quite unstable. But as we all know, atom is quite stable. So that's why this led to the drawback of Rutherford model of atom. Now, Bohr model of atom. Bohr basically overcomes the drawbacks of Rutherford, and he said that this is the nucleus and electrons around the nucleus, but in some special orbits or shells. Right? Electrons are revolving around the nucleus. This is true, but in some special orbits, or we can say that shells. Right? These shells and orbits are also known as energy levels, and we can name it as n is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, or k shell, l shell, m shell, n shell, and up to so on. So electrons revolve around the nucleus in some special orbits, and while revolving in these orbits, electrons do not radiate energy. Electrons do not radiate energy. So this is all about structure of atom. Thank you so much for watching.